This is episode 4 of my trip to Primaluna, where I'll be showing you my experience in Bellano, Italy on Lake Como. Prepare your mind, this is not a €1 home city. We're going to talk about some prices that are quite a bit higher, but it is a tourist zone. Later in this video, we're going to be discussing a price of a 300 square meter property in the historical center of town, so stick around. If you haven't checked out episode 3, it's available on my channel where I toured a property in Primaluna. It was for sale by owner, and he was kind enough to show me what it was like inside. It was very rustic and very interesting. After touring the rest of the city, I decided to head off to Bellano, where I saw a few communities. It only took about 25 minutes to get to the lake. When I reached the lake, I was actually pleasantly surprised to find a for sale sign on the switchbacks and of this giant property overlooking the lake. I mean, seriously, this view is just captivating. It was amazing, and I really wanted to find out more about this property. I gave the real estate agency a call, and unfortunately, the line never connected, and even to this day, I can't get a lot of information about it. If you guys can press like on this video, make it to 500, I will definitely go back and track down that real estate agency until I can get a property tour of this space. I'm curious about the prices. I looked online after my trip to see a few of the examples, and Bellano is not a €1 home community. Let's put it that way. Following a few other switchbacks brought me into the city, first of all to the train station. And that's actually good news, is that there is a train station directly in the community that brings you straight from the central train station in Milan. The community was pretty big. I saw grocery stores that are the economic type, like Eurospin here. You can see here the gas prices. It looks like a city that had an interesting history and has this beautiful space right on the lakeside. I found a location to park right on the boardwalk, and this is where we find ourselves. If anyone's ever been to Lake Como, it's an experience that you don't forget. I mean, I have people in my comments that often say things about Lake Como like it was beautiful, marvelous. As you can tell in the video never does enough justice, but it is captivating. Right here on the boardwalk, you can find restaurants, banks, and hotels. It's not actually the most popular community on the lake, but it is just barely north of Verena, which is actually a place that has a ferry. You can take a car, I believe, across to Bellagio. And Bellagio is very famous because it's on the peninsula on the south end of this lake next to Lecco. It's time to start the tour. The very first thing I notice is there's a real estate agency, so I pop over to see a few of the properties on sale. If you're wondering why I'm doing an overlay of this audio, it's because the technology failed me when I made it to Bellano and all the audio became corrupted. So about halfway through, it'll change. You can see the prices here in Bellano are actually higher than we typically talk about on this channel. Deservedly, it's a touristic area. Even this property right here that looks like you can actually choose the finishes has a high price of €160,000, and then you can continue on from there. It was about 140 square meters. The lowest property I could see for sale through this real estate agency was about €60,000. And that property was pretty small. So we're going to start touring through the city. I'm going to actually, instead of doing the typical run through, I'm going to take some clips here and there, and I'll show you some real estate being publicized in the area as I go through. For those of you who get a headache when you watch my videos, this will be the last video in which I have some handshake if all goes well, because I have bought a gimbal that is working very well. So you can say goodbye to your headaches and enjoy the future watching this video. So subscribe to the channel and stick around, because I'm going to be going to an area that is very famous for wine that's just about an hour and a half from where I live, southwest of Milan, very soon. Walking around this area is full of culture. We can see like the church, and if we look really close, we can see that it has like that slate tile shingling, much like Borgo Mezzavalle, which we saw there. I personally really like this type of architecture, the stone on stone, which is very common in the ancient church buildings. I found this park just next door that actually had a monument to those that have fallen in the past. And if you're a big history buff, there's plenty to learn about in this area. I'm not going to take the time to describe it right now because we're focused on our real estate. I swear this little plaza, or this town square had 3 or 4 different churches. I did see a quick sign that's talking about a residence for retirees that looks new. I wasn't able to locate it in the town, but I did pick up the numbers so that I could call it later on. Looking around a few of the tourist sites, we can see descriptions of the history of the various towns in the area. I found a hostel that was advertising for sale, for rent, or just like management of real estate. It's right here next to this old abandoned factory, which is right on the river. I'm sure the river played a big part in how the factory functioned in the past. Walking up this cobblestone pathway, I found a random door in the wall, and looking at the sign, it talked about a gorge that is one of the tourist landmarks of this community. It was closed, unfortunately, especially during the hour in which I arrived. It's more or less a museum, and from what it looks like, they've been doing work in order to restore it. It'd be really nice to come back in a regular tourist season and go and tour down and see the gorge as it comes out the mountain. This stairway was a lot bigger than I'm showing you. I got tired, but it gave me a beautiful view of the lake. Found another church building at the top of this pathway. Through this whole tour, I didn't really see a lot of residential real estate. I picked the wrong road. This was more of like that touristic path with some of the shop. I saw jewelry shops, butcher shops, various other mom and pop businesses. Right here, I had a really nice view. Fortunately, I decided to go down this set of stairs to this lower parking lot, and I was just trying to get back to the lake, and I ran across this sign for sale and decided to give the real estate agents a call. That's another no-go, but I did notice they didn't respond. I did notice that it extends, and it's probably this corner building right here. And so we're going to take a look at what it is exactly. This is always unique. All right, so it seems to be pretty large, honestly. If I can gather, there's this main entry. There's probably like a corridor, and then there are bedrooms upstairs, bathrooms, kitchen over there, perhaps. Because on the back side there was the garage and also like an opening to get into the back courtyard. And that's what I would assume. It's a very cute area. I mean, check it out. And it has an access here as well. So, very large. Someone's in it. Someone's in there. Okay, here's 3 places to sleep. An apartment with 3 beds. 3 places to sleep. So it could be like 1 double and a single. It doesn't say for sale. Oh yeah, it does. Proponi in vendita. Salve.
Salve.
Scusa, sì. Sai qualcosa dell'appartamento a vendita? È vostro?
No, non è il mio. Guardi, faccio vedere.
Ah sì? Grazie. Sei dalla zona? Scusa,
no,
se non parla con rispetto, non so farlo bene.
Abito anch'io qua dentro.
Sì? Ok.
Sì.
Bene.
Allora, sono da questa finestra.
Ok.
Quella.
Sì. Sa per caso quanto costa?
150.000.
150.
E queste 2 altre finestre. Sono
questo è il primo piano? O questo è il primo piano?
Questo qua è un piano
sottoterreno un po'?
Sì,
sì.
No, però è tutto fuori in realtà.
Ah, ok.
Non è seminterrato.
Quindi
è il primo piano.
Primo piano.
Sì, sì. No, comunque Primaluna è Valsassina.
Ok. Sì, sono andato lì prima perché pensavo magari i prezzi erano più bassi. Non devo essere proprio vicino al lago.
Qui a Bellano ti dirò che i prezzi sono abbastanza alti solitamente. Però poi bisogna vedere, ci sono sempre delle occasioni.
Ma questo è perché vengo in piedi, perché se trovo qualcuno in strada che vende casa è meglio, perché normalmente si guarda le cartelle sul finestra nell'agenzia immobiliare, il più basso è 60, ma immagino è 30 metri quadri o qualcosa.
È proprio piccolino.
Quindi cioè, le affari sono da scoprire, non sono facili di trovare, sempre.
Sì, sono da scoprire, però anche io dando un'occhiata ogni tanto sui siti trovo delle occasioni.
Sì.
Magari non sono qua, magari sono un po' più...
Questa è l'agenzia immobiliare che ho chiamato. I just spoke with somebody about this property. I'm a little confused, honestly, because it wasn't, they said that it was their property. So anyway, I'm just gonna go for it. I think we connected correctly. It was 300 square meters. It is very large, so it makes sense. With a courtyard in the back, and price was actually pretty shockingly low. He said it was all habitable. Someone could pick it up. Any guesses? Go ahead and write in the comments what you think before I tell you. Anyway, from what you've seen so far in the video, from the 60 to 300,000 euro, well, how do you say, range. And this one being 300 square meters up in the lake is still just down the hill a little bit. Maybe like we'd say 3 city blocks or 2 city blocks. There's businesses. How much do you think, it's beautiful. How much do you think that property was? 300 square meters, 2 blocks from the Lake Como in Bellano, Italy. Okay, go ahead and write it in the comments. While you're writing that, I'm going to tell you, I was talking to the neighbor who had also an apartment just redone. He said to get materials in here, they actually use a helicopter. In this town, we saw on the sign that they have a gorge that is actually was that door. Underneath the church, there's like a gorge where they're renovating and making it, bringing back some of the beauty. And he said it was just all day today, helicopters bringing back and forth material to fix it up. And so his apartment also was fixed using helicopter deliveries for construction. So if you're looking at that kind of project in a town like this, apparently due to the size of those streets, helicopter is the way to go. So looking again here, some of the prices. These guys aren't listing prices. Del Rey, come on guys. Here's one, 150, 210, 150 for 2 bedrooms. Okay, 300 square meters in the middle of town. All right, ready? Drum roll. No, but seriously, 180,000 euros, which, mind blown. Yeah, maybe some of you see an opportunity in that, and feel free to contact me. That wasn't the same number that I called that called me back, so you might want to ask me to get in contact for you. But anyway, let me know what you think. This is pretty cool. It's all glowing. I like the effect. This is like the nicest display I've ever seen for a real estate office. Should get their number and call them and say good job. So the lowest price here is 128,000 from what I can see. There's 2 of them. 1, 2. Like I said, like maybe that's a lot nicer, newer, 450,000 for less than half the size. 180 would be like this one, and it is 3.5 times bigger, almost 4. You see what I mean? That deal is probably too da rifare, but some creative person could think of a few ways of making that work. Well, so rent, poof, 1,000 euros a month, just because you're so close to the lake. You guys, I am obligated to finish this video. Thank you for checking out Bellano with me, and I hope you liked what you saw. Sorry, I had to cut it short. I'm at 1% of battery, and I need to shut it off right now. I think I'm going to check out this restaurant right here before I head out of town. Maybe I'll just get an ice cream or something, because I got family waiting for me at home. But just as one last quick view of the lake, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share it with your friends. See you next time.